How's it going, guys? Brett Medlock here. Today I wanted to talk about the PDP Face-Off Deluxe Plus. Wow, that's a big mouthful. Wired Nintendo Switch controller that actually has a headphone jack in the controller. Now, to my knowledge, this is the first one that has hit the market, so you might be wondering, how does it work out? How does it sound? That's what I'm going to talk about today, so without further ado, let's jump on in. First and foremost, I want to get one thing across. This controller is only $25, and I gotta be honest, with the build that you're getting, and I mean literally the build of the controller, the quality of it is very nice. It's very heavy, the sticks feel great, the buttons feel awesome, and it's only $25. This is without a doubt the best bang for your buck that you're going to be getting with a Switch controller. Like, I feel like if you were debating before about what cheap Switch controller to get, this is the one. But anyway, shape-wise, this controller is actually really similar to the Switch Pro controller, so if you use that controller already, then this will feel right at home in your hands. But that leads me to my first gripe, which is only a minor gripe that isn't really that big of a deal. The home button and the plus button and the minus button and the capture button are switched on the controller. So if you're ever going back and forth between controllers, then using this one might actually be pretty confusing, because every time I would want to pause the game, I would accidentally go to the home menu and vice versa. This is something you'll definitely get used to if you use the controller a lot, but if you switch back and forth like I tend to do, it can be a bit confusing. But as I was saying before, the sticks actually feel really great. They have this indentation on top of them. Just picture the opposite of the PS3 thumbsticks. There's a nice big chunk taken out of the middle, which I think is really comfortable. As for the rim of the analogs, they feel really similar to the Xbox One controller, which I happen to love those analogs. And on top of all of this, one thing I didn't even bring up yet, with this $25 controller, you actually have back paddles. Now, don't get me wrong, there's not a ton of shooters on Switch, but for the ones that are on there, this controller works perfectly. I've been recently playing Wolfenstein Young Blood, and using the back pedals to jump and pick up ammo has been really awesome, never having to take my thumbs off of the sticks. But don't get me wrong, I have a gripe about the back pedals, and it's that they're actually kind of hard to press down. And not only that, but the angle of which your fingers are placed, they're in a weird spot. So you'll definitely have to get used to having your fingers on the back of the controller in a different spot if you plan on using them. I think this back pedal is what actually adds a lot of weight to the controller, and I personally love really heavy controllers. That's of course just preference. If you like lightweight controllers, then this is one you should definitely avoid. It's really easy to set up the back paddles as well, just pressing the button below the right thumbstick and then pressing the paddle and whatever button you want to assign to it. And it's just as easy to take the buttons off. And of course, there's the actual 3.5 headphone jack. Not only can you hear your game's audio through this, but you can actually use voice chat for games that utilize it, which isn't exactly a ton on Switch, but it is a great feature if you happen to play games like Warframe, Fortnite, Paladins. I think a few more have the feature as well. And I'm not much of a sound guy, but I was playing Ultimate Alliance 3 with the headphones on, and it sounded really great. I didn't experience any sound cutting out or any staticky effects either. You might be thinking, wow, this controller has everything you could possibly need in a Switch controller, but there are two functions that it is missing. First off, it's wired, which is probably a deal breaker for a lot of people. Luckily, the wire that it comes with is pretty long at 10 feet, and my couch is far away from my TV and it still reached. Another thing the controller is lacking is vibration. Now, I'm a big fan of vibration in controllers. I know a lot of people shut it off in the Switch's settings. I just think it helps a little bit with immersion, but a lot of people might not mind the fact that there's no vibration, but I did want to clarify that because that probably is a big deal to a lot of people as well. So aside from it being wired and having no vibration, this is actually my favorite third-party Switch controller that I've reviewed so far. And I've reviewed quite a bit on this channel, and the fact that it's only $25 and the build quality feels really nice is absolutely insane. So be sure to let me know what you think about this controller. Do you plan on picking it up? Have you always wanted a headphone jack in your Switch controller? Be sure to let me know everything down in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.